This program has been rated PG-21. Parental guidance is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, karibuni sana. It's that time of the week again. Of course, this is Look Up Family Time. And just before we start, I want to give you a story of love, a story of how I met my beautiful wife. But before I get to complete the story, let me introduce two lovebirds. Your story nitawapea tu, don't worry. The Boneless,
yes,
karibu sana.
Asante sana. Yes.
Looking good as usual.
Oh, yes.
Na I can see you take it a notch higher.
You know.
Inakaya maju, my friend.
We bless the name of the Lord.
Yes.
Actually, I was very glad when you said that you want to give us a story.
Yes.
And I hope we are going to hear the story.
Before we end the program,
Indeed.
you'll get to hear the conclusion of
that
the story.
must be very interesting.
Yes.
And I'm happy to see you again today. You look quite sharp.
Yes.
I'll tell you what happened today.
All right. I need to know the story. Thank you.
True. Yes. And the queen herself.
Yes.
Of course, he's the king.
Yes.
And she's the queen.
Yes.
Twa Twa.
Yes. How are you?
Very
Very fine, really.
Uko chonjo?
Niko chonjo.
Yes.
Yes.
And your week was like?
Was fabulous.
Fabulous is another term. We are learning.
Yes.
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 Now that I'm looking sharp,
Yes.
we had sports day. I'm learning a lot from you guys.
Yes.
And I'm learning to prioritize things.
Yes.
So if you see me looking sporty,
Yes.
we had some sports with my son in school.
All right. No wonder.
It was interesting.
You are.
It was interesting.
Yes.
Of course, we keep telling you, this is the show that is bringing back families. This is the show that is giving a new lease of life to families. Those families that have broken up, those families that are at the edge of breaking up.
Yes.
We pump new life into them.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we tell you and we say it as it is.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's all about communication. It's all about love. It's all about getting to know your partner.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And we've been talking about communication.
Yes.
And we are at that point. We looked at the causes
Yes.
of toxic communication.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And we looked, we had so very many. We looked at the apart from now the causes, we looked at why people
Yes.
get toxic.
Yes.
And we found out that there are very many reasons.
Yes.
Like not saying something, you're still saying that something by not saying anything.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
These things that are reverse psychology.
Yes.
And we are at that point of now getting to look at how do we overcome this?
Yes.
How do we get to bump from the negatives to the positives?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, that's why we're here.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And there's something you mentioned in one of the previous programs.
Yes.
You said there are 5 boneless.
You still remember?
I do. It was a very interesting point. 5 boneless
Organs.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Okay, let's pick it up from there.
Wow. That's very true.
Yes.
I want to say that there are 5 boneless organs that we need to be very careful so that we can avoid being toxic.
Yes.
And one of the organ that is very, very, very important is actually your ear. Yes. You look, when you look at your ear, it has no bone.
Yes.
Yes.
It's boneless.
Yet it picks a lot of information, good or negative, positive, and all that.
Yes.
And so it's very important for someone to be very careful so that to stop the toxic communication, you've got to be very careful with what you hear.
True.
And that's why Jesus was very careful to tell his disciples and those who are listening to him. He said that in the book of Mark 4:24, that take heed what you hear.
True.
Take heed what you hear. Because it is what you hear that actually you become.
Yeah.
So most of the people who are accountants, those who are medical doctors, those who are nurses, those who are whatever field they are,
Yes.
engineer, they were taught about being an engineer. And because of that, the few years they stayed in college, they became. And so it's very important to be very careful what you hear.
Yeah.
Because if you want to stop toxic communication, then you've got also to be careful what you're listening should not be toxic. So that's one of the organ that we need to take care of.
And it's interesting that you say that, because
Yes.
we have one of our editors,
Yes.
a very young lady.
Yes.
Her name is Miriam.
Yes.
And we talked about what you hear.
Yes.
And she said something very interesting.
Yes.
She can hear everything, but she chooses
Wow.
what to practice.
That's a wise girl.
She told me she behaves like a chicken.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay? You can have githeri,
Yes.
beans and maize, but she'll pick the maize and leave the beans.
Wow. Amazing.
That's very interesting.
That's very powerful.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I think that is it, because now, we have two forms of information.
Yeah.
We have the worldly information and we have the godly information. So it is your personal responsibility to actually choose what you want to listen. And so if you find that you're listening to a lot of godly and godly information and it's messing your thinking, your character, your action, then it's important to change what you are listening.
Maybe the group of
Yes.
women you
Thank
surround
you,
yourself
Ven-
with.
Yeah.
The group of men.
Exactly.
We surround
The
ourselves.
Bible says in the book of 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33 that bad company corrupts good morals. So no matter how good you are, if you start working with people who are actually who have a bad company, in other words, bad company is what they are talking, what are they speaking, what are they spending their time speaking and saying, that is enough for you to pick that and begin to work on it, to ponder over that and begin to act out of it, knowing or unknowing, because choices have consequences. So
every action has a reaction.
Oh yes. So it's very, very, very important to take care of what you hear. And if that sense can be well taken care of, that organ can be well taken care of, there are a lot of things that we can actually remove. Toxic communication will actually just cease from us. But you find we are not very careful. Actually, the friends we keep around, the people, the stories we hear, the talks we talk, we just careless, and most of the times, as we think we are getting fun, not knowing there's something that is getting in you and something is being built in you, and given time, that thing will actually manifest out of your life. So that's one of the senses that we really have to be very careful.
Okay. On the same sense, are you where you are?
Yes.
Because maybe you had to let go of some friends, maybe.
Yeah, I think we did. And again, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here again today. It's such a blessing.
And your week was great.
My week was fantastic. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, just like you asked, for you to be able to make progress in life, you've got to really decide who to carry and who not to carry. And depending on where God is taking you, you have to understand that you can't go to that level with everybody. There are people that no matter how good you are, and you try to carry them to where you are going, you are going to have a problem. And like I remember, for our marriage, our family to be where it is, Pastor Sue together with myself, we've had to make sacrifices, because sometimes you walk with the people and you realize you are not reading from the same
script.
Exactly. Whether it is issues to do with how you treat one another, because someone may think, I think I don't want to go that kind of a direction. So you have to say, no, I think I don't want to treat my wife that way. I don't want to treat my children that way. I want to be a good example. And therefore, even to the things that other people may say that, I want to be a man, but being a man in the expense of your wife, expense of your children,
just to show masculinity.
Exactly. to me, it is neither here or there. And so, whether you're talking about even in business, depending on what you want to achieve, you realize that there are some people you've got to drop out of your way. You get it?
Yes.
Even as a minister of the gospel, you know, when you want to walk in a certain direction, you can't carry everybody. You know, like now when we began now talking and speaking about now issues about family and marriage. Again, what happened? It brought to us some friends, and also there are some people who left our path. You know, and we said, glory be to God. There's a season and a time for everything. So you've got just to be deliberate. You choose that these are the kind of people that I want to walk with. Why? Because of what you can see and where you are going. My friend, all of us are not going the same destination.
True. We might be going in the same direction.
Exactly.
But not in the same destination.
Exactly. You know, all of us are not serious about some things. Even at the come even to being born again. When I got born again, I'm sure there are some people who said, now you kijana, does he know what he's talking about? Ataweza kweli. I was in primary school. You get my point, eh? When I gave my life to Christ. So anytime you make a choice, expect to gain and lose. But if you are making exactly, and when we make, but the good and the beauty about it, when you make a choice for the kingdom, especially because you want to please God, then you can be sure anybody who leaves you, with the time they will tell, they were the ones who are in the wrong. So for me, and my wife, Pastor Sue, we are not afraid about what happens, as long as we know we are doing the will of God for our life. Like being seated here tonight, I'm so glad. Why? Because there is a woman somewhere, there is a man somewhere, there is a single lady somewhere who is listening to us. By being seated here tonight through the Look Up family time, that family will get a solution. That family, if they're supposed to go to the ditch, by what we are going to share here tonight, they will get their healing.
And they'll resurface.
Exactly. And if maybe they were involved in toxic communication, who knows that this could be their night. And that one I feel fulfilled. That there's somebody somewhere who is going to get this healing.
That's nice.
Yes.
That's nice. And that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Okay.
Wow, taking care of what? We listen, we hear. That's very important. The second organ is important.
I was now to go to the second organ.
The second organ that we need to be very careful so that we can avoid toxic communication in our marriages, and even to the people that will stay with us, is your eyes. What are the things you watch?
Like your eyes is the window
of the body. You see that? And so you have to be very careful. What do you watch? What are the movies that you watch?
Because now you're consuming.
Yes. Okay. What are the books that you read? You see that? Everything that you read, you are watching, has a great impartation to your communication. You see that? And so people are not very careful what they read, what they watch, because if you keep watching movies where women are abusing their husband, and you are a woman, chances are you pick one and one there, and you find your language has actually by and by changed. And not knowing that you are being influenced by actually the people that you are watching. And I want to say categorically that most of the times, evil has a way of influencing good to become evil.
True. At the end of the day, even if you took this glass of water, and you just drop, like the same amount that is about to fill up of dirty water, this whole glass will be full of dirty water. Right? So evil has a way, of messing someone who was good to actually become, bad. And that's why the Bible is very clear in the book of Psalms 1, verse 3, that blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly, who does not sit, who does not walk. But the Bible says his delight is in the law of the Lord, and he meditates upon the law of the Lord day and night. The Bible says he's like a tree. He's like a tree planted by the rivers of water that does not wither
And whatever that man does and that woman does, the Bible says he prospers. So one of the things we have to be very careful is what we watch. Because if you watch soap operas, you watch movies, and you can see the men, if you are a man, you're seeing how women are being battered, they are being abused, they are being beaten. Chances are, even if you grew up in a family where there was no fight, you find yourself fighting. We have to be very careful also with our children. What are they watching? Like this PlayStation, where they have a game they keep shooting.
Yes.
You see that?
Yes, and it's very common.
It's very common. Yeah. And you see, our children are very tricky. They will tell you, Mom, Daddy, you told me that when I do well in school, you will buy me a PlayStation. Yes. And because for us, we don't have any knowledge of PlayStation, you buy and keep it there. No, and then he guides you because you are not aware. Yeah. Daddy, I want this cassette. I want this PS4, PS5, all these things. Yeah. And we buy them and keep them in the house.
Just out of love.
Yes, out of love, but ignorantly, we are not aware what our children are actually getting into. True. And by the end of the day, there is a lot of negative programming in our children. True. Because the more they keep shooting, I am told it becomes very easy for them. I'm told that all the children who killed when below they were adults. Yeah. Actually, if you look at their free time, they watched a lot of movies that were actually, there was a lot of murder, there was a lot of shooting. And so this thing is just in him. Yeah. You get that? Yeah. Such that even when he takes a real gun, it's very easy for him to shoot you or for her to shoot you, and especially the boy child. Yeah. So we have to be very careful what we watch. Otherwise, that can also give us toxic communication. For example, what even our children, if they keep watching some cartoon networks, and there is that vulgar language, that obscene language, you find them, even if they have never had it with you, you find them actually speaking back the same. So what are we talking about?
Then you try to find out.
Yes.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Where
and
did you get it
you
from?
really can't get who said that. But they watched it on the TV. Yeah. They heard through music, hearing what we have just discussed. So we have to be very careful on what are we watching, what are we, what are we watching, what are we listening. The two go hand in hand. And so because what you watch is what actually you become. The first time when you watch something that is wrong, it might not have a much impact. But as you continue watching, you find now your mindset is actually changing.
It's like a lie told over and over again.
Thank you. It becomes like the truth, but it's not the truth. Yeah. So we've got to be very careful what we watch. I don't know whether Pastor Monene has something to add on that.
Actually, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Maybe bringing you back now to the marriage concept.
Okay. Yes.
Do you think our eyes, we are visual beings as men.
Yes.
And for them, they are audible.
Yes. They hear more. Yes.
So, do you think if you are angry and you are in a toxic communication in your setup, and she just wears something nice, do you think that could be a positive vibe, like a positive kind of thing, and it's like she's communicating and you're receiving the communication through your eyes?
Yeah.
And you'll be like, now this is working. Do you think that can work? Can that bring back maybe something?
Yeah. Thank you, Willie. Yeah, just like Pastor Sue, she is saying, most of our problems actually, they come through those two areas that she has mentioned. Yeah. What you hear
and what you see.
And what you see.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's why the Bible is very clear, like she mentioned, that, take heed of what you hear. Oh, if I were to write again, I would say, take heed what you see.
What do you see?
True. Wow. You get it, eh? Yes, because to me, I think the things that you see, they will have an impact or an influence in your life in one way or the other.
True.
That's very true.
And that's why you should be able to ask, to take care, where do you go?
Yeah.
What do you put before your eyes?
Yes. Oh,
yes. Because we say that your eyes are the windows of your heart, of your spirit.
Yes.
Your eyes. So whatever your eyes see, they're able to take the same into your life. And you begin now processing the whole thing. And you asked a very good question, which I would say, yes. I mean, it is very important that as a wife, you learn how to also communicate without using words. Non-verbal communication.
Oh, yes.
You know, when you dress well and the man sees that, there is a message you are sending home.
Perfecto,
you get my point. And I think as women also we should learn how to communicate, you know, in every way.
True.
Whether you're using your words, whether it is through your action, whether it is through your dressing, even how you are moving. You know, there's a way you can move in the house and the mzee can tell hapa kuna hatari.
Yes.
Akiona vile umepita hapo, ajue. You know, ama aone vile umeletewa chakula. You know, inawekelewa hapo na hakuna kitu anaongea.
Kama kuna vita.
You know, you can tell there's something here, non-verbal communication. You know, we are talking about toxic communication. You see?
And now how to overcome this?
Yes, exactly. And how to overcome this. So to me, I think, just like you say, how you dress, how you carry yourself in the house and all that, you can send a rod to your husband. And probably if they were angry with you, if they were upset with you, by just the way you appear, you can turn that and they begin to warm up towards yourself.
True.
Exactly.
Wow.
100%.
Yes.
Yes, we are still on toxic communication and we are actually on how to overcome. I think this is the this is the cream of it all. Because in most of the families where there is toxic communication, this is the program you don't want to miss.
Yes.
Let's come back to you.
Yes.
Our organ number 3.
Organ number 3.
Now you know we've itemized.
Wow.
I want to go to the most common, and I want to talk about the joy well and the joystick. You find most of the conflict that comes in marriage is especially on Twa Twa is as a result of a comment that was done by either your husband or either your wife before, during, or after Twa Twa.
Okay.
You get that, eh? And let me tell you the truth, that's the most hurting comment ever. And so we need to be very careful and be very conscious that never say anything that can hurt your spouse, you know, sexually.
Okay.
Like, for example, you know, telling him he has a small, you know, joystick, big joystick, you know, all those words that we use just to make sure we put off our partner, not knowing we are actually going to suffer for the same words that we have said.
True.
Because when this man is not able to rise up to the occasion, who is going to suffer?
Yourself.
True. And you're the one who crushed the ego of this man. You're the one who said, thinking that it was just a joke. Kumbe, the man took it so seriously and knew that you don't respect and honor him. And he feels rejected because of the words that you actually said, because you are angry. So what are we saying? We have to be very careful how, as a man, as a woman, you have to be very careful how you handle the joystick. You get that?
Yes.
You don't say it is too big, you don't say it is too long, you don't say it is very black, because as long as it can work, that God created it to be the way it is. You know, it's very brown. You know these things that we talk about. Just a way of criticizing, because you know that's where it hurts most.
That discussion in a group of women.
Yeah, so and now taking it to your husband, that can really mess him up. Yeah, because he also found it the way it is, and there is nothing he can do about it.
And you know, the color doesn't mean that, you know, depending with the color, the performance is gauged by the color. It doesn't mean that. Whether you're talking about the color or the size, it has got nothing to do with the performance. You know, actually, the ladies, you know, sometimes, you know, the deeper you go, the more they don't feel you. The more you irritate them. And I wish all men can know that.
Wow.
You know, it's not an issue of how deep you are.
Yes.
No.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
Okay. PG 21.
All right.
Parental guidance is advised.
Yes, Pastor.
Yes.
Very, very, very important.
I like the direction that you're taking.
Yes. And it's good for every man.
But anyway, on a serious note, it's important for guys to understand this.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, I think it's a biological myth that has always been there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And most of the people, they tend to think, especially men, that the more you get in, the more you are going to enjoy this. Okay, for the man, you may be feeling good.
Yes.
But again, it's important that we don't become selfish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because if you are only doing this for yourself, to feel good, to feel that you are at the top of the world, without taking care of your partner, you are doing the wrong thing.
Actually, you're missing the point.
You are missing the point. So I would say communication here is also again very, very important.
True.
You know, we are on communication.
Yes.
You know, it's good to know how does your partner like it? How do they feel? So that you can try and bring them to where they want. And then after you bring them to where they want to, then you can now accelerate.
To the whole,
you can now accelerate and if your car can go 220. Kanyanga mafuta.
I agree.
You get the point.
I hope you can hear this, my friend.
Very, very important.
Yes,
but
Pastor.
First of all, just say hapa tu. You know.
You're getting excited.
Yes. He's so practical.
Very, very important. There are good things that God has put right at the entry point.
Yes.
Don't be too quick. You know, to dive into the sea and you have not started to warm up.
And also don't be too quick to judge.
Yes.
You know, before you begin swimming hard, just go slowly. Slowly. You know, and then with the time, you know how to get there. And by the time you get there, everybody will be, wow, you've been another, heaven or the same.
Yes.
So say to the men.
Yes.
It is important.
Yes.
Just like Pastor Sushi is saying, let's avoid talking negatively on, especially when it comes to the private parts of your partner. Kindly, even if you are so angry, don't ever criticize them using their private parts. To me, it is one of the greatest assassination. Insult. You know? It's very, very bad. You know, because somebody now feels like is rejected. Somebody feels like they are not welcome. And anytime you go to them with the bed, they always remember. Ati ulisema enjoy wero yangu ati inakaa nini. You know, so you find that this woman should never enjoy. Twa Twa. You know, this man, you find that he has to put other pictures in his mind for him to be able now to come and perform. Why? Because he can remember the words that you said. That's why knowledge is something very, very important.
I agree.
You know, because without knowledge, again, you'll be doing things in the wrong direction. So just like she has said, I would say kindly. No wonder how bitter you are. No matter how angry you are, don't ever speak negatively about the private parts of your partner. Why? It is God who made them that way. So when you are criticizing them and abusing them, in other words, you are saying you have got a problem with your creator. You see that?
That's an interesting concept.
Exactly. You are telling God he did a mistake. To create it that way. That's what you're telling God. And God can never make any mistake. God can never be wrong in anything. So to me, I think, again, taking care of what we say to our partners is something very, very important.
Wow. I think the men and the boys, I'm talking to the XY chromosome now, in biology. I think we need a date with you, my friend. So that we can have a boys' day out. When we are having this boys' day out, now we can talk everything and everything about something that you touched on.
No problem.
That is very interesting.
No problem.
I understand right now we are across border. Lakini hapa kuna maneno tunafaa tujue. On our own.
No problem.
I hope we have the permission.
Yes, you have the permission. The man of God can actually teach you a lot. He's so endowed. Yes.
Karibu.
And I agree. That's very interesting. Now, back to my story. How I met my wife. I was performing in a wedding. of a guy called Kim. Now, Kim happened later. Okay, I found this beautiful woman.
Yes,
girl,
yes.
And be the shy person that I am. So I didn't really approach her. But music brought us together.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I can hear the director asking me shy. Yes, the shy person that I am.
Yes.
And it happened that the guys who had contracted me to perform in their wedding, my wife was a sister to this guy.
Hiya.
Okay, hiya.
Wow.
We are back in a very short time.
Wow.
I'll get to clarify that story.
That's an interesting story.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and she's a very beautiful one.
Yes.
Yes, and I thank God for her.
Wonderful.
Yes. We are taking a very short break. This is Luca Family Time. And in the house, as usual, we have the king and the queen, the Twa Twa and
thank you.
themselves.
Thank you.
And these guys are taking us to another level. These guys are spiritual as it is, and they are telling it to you as it is. My friends, tighten your seatbelts.
Oh, yes.
Because we are about to take off.
Yes.
We are back in a moment. Cheers.